not gang gang. I do not gang gang.
I don't like gangs. I don't like conspiracy. I don't like the word Rico. Like none of that. So, you see the young boys say, you ain't got no body.
When it comes to handling business, 50 Cent has been standing firm since day one. No hesitation, no fear. His name still echoes through the streets and hoods everywhere because unlike most rappers who got to cut checks to gangs just to move safely, 50, he don't pay nobody, no street tax, no extortion, nothing.
Always made early residence. I am not gang. I do not gang bang.
I do not like Rico. I do not like conspiracy. Keep both of those brothers away from me. These laws were designed to bring down the mafia. When you think crime.
And that right there is exactly why he's had beef with some real street figures. We're talking about major players with serious influence, like the Crips. Most rappers wouldn't even think about crossing that line, but 50 Cent, he never backed down. And now, as he's getting older, he's spilling even more about his enemies, especially why the Crips still don't want any problems with him.
The relationship started to go south with 50.
I was tolerating a lot of undesired energy.
Right.
Now let's be clear, 50 Cent ain't no gangbanger. He said it a million times, and it's been obvious from the start. He grew up in the rough streets of South Jamaica, Queens. But he never needed a crew to stand on his own. He made it crystal clear, I am not gang. I do not gang bang. I do not like Rico. I do not like conspiracy.
Against my advice, he prompted the homies to take the stage with him, and he announced to the San Diego crowd something to the effect of, what's wrong with this picture? I'm a New York with 100 Crips on stage.
But let's get one thing straight. Just because he left that life behind doesn't mean he's not still connected or respected. Back in the day, 50 Cent got caught up selling to an undercover cop, and when the police raided him, they found a stash and a weapon. That moment was his wake-up call.
50 was the type of dude, he was outside when he was 12 years old. You know, his mother and father, he didn't have too much knowledge of them. He had knowledge of his mother, but his father.
He knew he had to leave that street life behind before it took him down for good, but that didn't mean he was moving like an easy target. Far from it. Enter Spider, a full-time who tried to unite G-Unit and the Crips under the same banner. Out of loyalty, 50 Cent and G-Unit stood by him, even letting him bring hundreds of Crips on stage during their performances. But that affiliation came with some serious heat. One show about completely shut down because the crowd was packed with Bloods. You see the problem, right?
With Boo Boo, I'm not even calling 50. 50 was a street that basically said the street, but was still involved in the street and started rapping. You understand what I'm saying?
And it didn't stop there. Spider Lock's music video shoots, they were getting lit up with bullets. It was getting real out here. Rival gangs were pulling up and things were getting way too dangerous. 50 wasn't about to let all that chaos mess up his business, so at some point he had to make a move. Spider Lock had to go.
He wasn't involved with what made it fall apart in the beginning, so no, it's cool, you can play it out. He's a rapper, man. This is hip-hop. In the heat of it, you actually got beef.
And Luke didn't even struggle for his spot word on the Gumit Spider when things came apart. He was so shaken that he simply disappeared without any pushback or struggle.
Henchmen and them were supposed to come through, and I guess they gun jammed, but we had God on that side, and they backed out on the hit. But listen, at the end of the day, when a kid got slapped, right? It's all fair and war. You already know what's gonna go.
That right there tells you everything about who really held the power. See, 50 Cent has never been afraid to go toe-to-toe with the biggest names in the game. Y'all remember Suge Knight, the man who had everyone on edge back in the day? Well, 50 wasn't one of them. When Suge tried to press him early in his career, 50 stood his ground. No hesitation, no backing down. That's just facts. He even pulled up to the Imda Club video shoot, knowing Suge was out there trying to shake things up. But 50, he walked in like it was just another day. And let's not forget his legendary war with Murder Inc., one of the wildest feuds in hip-hop history. Back in 2000, 50 got stabbed outside the Hit Factory studio in New York, all because of his beef with Ja Rule, and Murder Incorporated, one of their artists, Black Child, claimed it was self-defense, but we all know the truth. 50 needed 3 stitches after the attack, but did he back down? Never. Instead, he turned up the heat even more. And let's talk about 50's undefeated level of petty, next-level savage. When Arv Gotti recently passed away, 50 wasted no time clowning him. He posted a pic of himself smoking hookah next to a mock gravestone with the caption, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack now. God bless him, lol." Cold. But this ain't just about industry beef. Minus 50 has survived real-life attempts on his life. When the streets came for him, he stood tall every single time. Y'all remember the infamous 2000 shooting? 50 got hit 9 times. Nodding, most people wouldn't have made it out alive. But 50? He shook it off and came back harder than ever. No hiding, no laying low, just straight domination. Then there's his fallout with Bang M Smurf, one of his day ones. That dude used to ride with 50, but by Summer Jam 2004, things had gotten so heated that Smurf and his crew pulled up front row just to taunt him. And what did 50 do? Did he let it slide? Nah, he straight up disrespected them, threw cash, splashed water at them like they were nobodies. And then, shares started flying, people were throwing shoes, it turned into madness. But that wasn't even the most dangerous beef 50 ever had. That title belongs to Jimmy Henchman. If you know Henchman's reputation, you already know he was not the one to mess with. It all kicked off in 2005 when 50 dropped the game from G-Unit, and guess who was managing the game at the time? Henchman. He took that personal, and before anyone knew it, things escalated, arguments, threats, and eventually, violence. By 2007, it got real. G-Unit members Tony Yeo and Lodi Mack allegedly jumped Henchman's 14-year-old son. That move, it turned a street beef into an all-out war. And just weeks after Lodi Mack got out of prison, he was gunned down. And word on the street, that was a revenge hit. Henchman wasn't playing. Eventually, Henchman got convicted for putting a hit on Lodi Mack and was sentenced to life plus 20 years. But even after that, the story stayed messy. His conviction got overturned in 2016, keeping his name locked in street drama. And let's not forget, Henchman's name has been tied to another infamous case, the 1994 Quad Studios shooting of Tupac Shakur. The connections run deep. Let's be real, that 1994 Quad Studios shooting, that wasn't just some random hit. Somebody set Tupac up, and guess whose name kept coming up? Jimmy Henchman. For years, rumors swirled that Henchman played a role in lining Pac up that night, but nothing was ever officially pinned on him. Still, that connection kept his name buzzing in the streets. And when you mix that with his war against 50 Cent, it was only a matter of time before the streets started talking. See, Henchman wasn't just some industry guy, he was deeply tied into the streets. So when he and 50 went head-to-head, it wasn't just rap beef anymore. It turned deadly. And let's not forget minus 50 Cent has never been the type to let things slide. If you come for him, best believe he's going to apply pressure. Even after Henchman was locked up, his name still carried weight. But that life sentence, it was like the final chapter in one of the most intense wars in hip-hop history. Meanwhile, 50 kept moving like nothing happened. Business booming, power growing, and his enemies either falling off or falling down. But that's the thing about 50 Cent, he doesn't just survive, he wins. While most rappers fade out or get caught up in the same street drama they rap about, 50 flipped the game completely. He went from dodging bullets in Queens to becoming a straight-up mogul. And the craziest part? He's still out here throwing shots, whether it's on social media, in interviews, or through his business moves. 50 makes sure his name stays relevant. And after all the beef, the shootouts, the betrayals, he's still standing tall while most of his enemies are either gone or forgotten. And trust me, if history has taught us anything, it's that when 50 Cent has a problem with somebody, it ain't over until he says it's over. And that right there is why 50 Cent's legacy is different. Most rappers, they come and go. But 50, he's been running the game for over 2 decades and he's still winning. Look at the names that tried to take him down. Murder Inc., Ja Rule, Jimmy Henchman, even Suge Knight. All of them either fell off or fell behind. Meanwhile, 50 flipped the script. He went from a street hustler dodging bullets to a billion-dollar businessman who still isn't afraid to get petty when necessary. Just look at his moves. He's got TV, shows, major business deals, international tours, while his enemies struggle to stay relevant. And 50, he makes sure they know it. Every time they try to pop back up, he's right there with a meme, a joke, or a straight-up savage post to remind them who's boss. But what really makes 50 untouchable is his ability to move in both worlds. He's got the corporate suits cutting him massive checks, but at the same time, he's still respected in the streets. You don't see that often. Most artists either sell out or stay stuck in the past. But 50, he mastered both. And let's not forget, this man survived 9 bullets, the biggest rap beefs, and some of the most dangerous enemies in the game. If that couldn't stop him, what makes anyone think he's slowing down now? At this point, 50 Cent ain't just a rapper, he's a walking empire. And no matter how many people tried to take him down, the message has always been the same. If you come at 50, you better be ready for war. And history shows, ain't nobody ever won against him.